This is Sheffield Live Radio, and you're listening to Communities Live with me, Susie Casson. T-Boy's been very busy today making lots of tea, and we're joined in the studio by Ray Globe and David Harmer, who are...
The Glummer Twins.
Yeah.
We certainly didn't.
Really?
No, never mind.
He's not that reliable. Oh, he's back now. T-Boy, there are complaints.
No, not complaints.
No.
Never.
So, can you first of all say, what are the Glummer Twins?
The Glummer Twins, Ray Globe and David Harmer, stand-up poetry with some music from the Beat generation.
Absolutely, that sounds very good, David.
That sounds
all right, yeah. I quite like that, yeah.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
because it's usually what you say.
It is usually what I thought. No, you said it very well, I
Thank
thought.
you.
Yeah, great. And on the internet, it said it's poetry you can dance to.
It is poetry you can dance to.
Yes.
That sounds good.
Is that what you've written?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that. I didn't know that was
I
going to
like
happen.
it.
No, I just came up with that. Yeah.
Brilliant. So, you've been to Edinburgh, I believe.
Yes, we have.
We have.
How did that go?
It was fantastic, really.
We got a great review. We got a 5-star review.
We
Wow.
did get a 5-star review.
We got some very good audiences, didn't we?
We did. We got some good audiences. We were down in a little cellar round at the back of the
Law courts.
law courts.
All right.
So every morning we were standing there waiting to get into our venue, and there's the G4S vans piling up behind.
You know
the
those
court.
vans with little tiny windows with people
Oh,
hammering?
yes,
So let
yeah.
me out now, yes, so-and-so's. I want to see the poetry now.
Yeah. So it was quite exciting, really. But we had some lovely. It was a lovely little venue down in the.
It was great.
Down in the
Yeah.
basement of an old church.
Just a 40-seater, but we did
classic,
okay.
Classic
Yeah.
venue. And it was good fun, yeah.
Yeah,
Great fun.
fantastic. And what time of day were you on? Was it
Half
nice?
past 11 to half past 12.
11, yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which meant that we could go and see a load of shows and have a
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah.
Great. And
Fantastic.
our sort of audience tend to be around at that time as well, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Old people tend
Yeah.
to get up early, you see. So
That's true, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Looking confused.
Yeah.
No.
Fantastic. And so you're back now in Sheffield, of
Yeah.
course, the best place to be.
Absolutely.
And do you have any gigs coming up that we can come and see?
No.
No.
Right,
But
next
we're open to
question.
offers.
It's really
Yeah.
funny. We did this happened to us last year.
Yeah.
We sort of build and build and build.
Did a
to
lot of
Edinburgh.
festivals because we did
Yeah.
Buxton as well,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
was
we did
great.
Buxton
Yeah.
and Swindon.
Yeah, Swindon.
Don't forget
Well, we met
Swindon.
you at Buxton. We met you.
Yes, we did. Yes, we couldn't get in, but we came.
So
Yeah.
So we've got so we did this big build up to Edinburgh, and then we're
Yeah.
so worn out by the time we've done it. We have to have
Yeah.
about a month off. And
Yeah.
then think, hold on, we've got no plans.
But we
Yeah.
do some writing and we put some stuff
So-
out on SoundCloud and that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Well, he did. Ray did.
Yes. Yeah, because I noticed you got a new EP out at the
we have,
moment.
yeah.
We have.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Meet the Glummer Twins, I think it's called.
Is it?
I made it up.
Brilliant. And that's on
Meet the Glummer
SoundCloud.
Twins.
Meet the Glummer Twins.
Right.
It's like Meet the Beatles.
I know, yeah. That was with the Beatles, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
I realised that once I typed it.
I know.
but-
The more Dave Clark 5
Yeah.
than the Beatles.
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, I suppose. Yeah.
I was going to ask about teamwork, but I think I'll not ask
No,
that
we
now.
really should have.
Yeah, I think we've got the answer to that. So that's on SoundCloud, isn't
Yes,
it?
it is.
It is.
Yeah,
Look
fantastic.
up the Glummer Twins on SoundCloud. There's about 15 tracks on there that
Yes.
people can
Yeah.
have a listen to, download for absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
Yes.
All the effort, and they
fantastic.
can have it for
Yeah,
nothing.
but Ray puts a lot of really good music into it and
Yeah.
backing stuff that you
Yeah.
can't do live. You know?
Yeah, so I'm going to start playing them on the show. They're so good.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of sort of spoken word and with music, and then just spoken word on its own.
Yeah.
But most
Yeah.
of the stuff we put out on SoundCloud tends to be with the music because it's a good platform to
Yes.
put it out,
Yeah,
sort of thing.
yeah, fantastic.
And it's just another way of working,
We've had
another way of
about,
writing, you know. Which
Yeah.
Is good.
Had about
Yeah.
1,500 hits on
Have
those
we?
songs. Yeah.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
It is good, yeah.
Is that your mum?
Yeah, it was my mum, yeah.
Brilliant. So you create all of your own material?
Yes.
Brilliant. And who are your poetic and musical influences, would you say?
What, apart from Bob Dylan?
Yes.
Other than Bob Dylan?
Yes.
Putting Bob Dylan to one side, not
Yes.
mentioning Bob Dylan?
Yes.
I'm not sure about that. Do we have any influences?
No,
I think you're my influence, Dave.
Oh, Ray, thank you so much.
That's nice.
I don't know. We got both of us were involved with the Circus Poets all those thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
And that gives us a kind of template for. So, for example, I used to I used to perform a poem about Reagan called "In Washington There Is This Bloke, the elected president for a joke." And I can rewrite it now, can't I?
We're redoing
I wasn't going to touch it
Yes.
till this morning, and now
Yes.
Topical,
so we can rewrite
Please
it.
do.
Very good.
Yeah.
So, no,
Yeah.
So Ian McMillan was he's an influence, isn't
It
he?
is an influence.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I mean, around the time you were doing Circus Poets, and I was helping out with some of the bits of music.
You
there
were.
were people like
And performing with us as
I'm
well.
performing. There were people like John Cooper Clarke
Of
about.
course,
So there's
of course,
obviously
Roger McGough.
stuff.
Yeah.
And
The usual, you know.
And I mean,
usual
the
suspects.
thing is, we do well. Well, I sometimes we listen to a lot of recent sort of rap and grime and stuff
You
like that.
do.
Just to get ideas, because there's some fabulous use of sort of wording
Stuff out.
and it's great to sort of get rid of the way people are phrasing things, and it's just great to pick stuff up.
Absolutely. And there's a huge spoken word thing there, Kate Tempest and all that.
Yes.
Huge
all
spoken
that,
word, what have you.
Yeah, and a lot here in Sheffield, isn't there? A lot of spoken
Sheffield's
word.
got so much going on poetically.
Yes.
From spoken word, from both universities. Hallam have some great poets. Chris Jones, some fantastic poets.
Yeah, fantastic. So, as you've mentioned, you are a gentleman of a certain age now.
Gentleman of a certain age,
in your prime.
I am,
Yes. So, what would you say are the best things about getting older?
You don't have to go to work.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I mean, people.
But it's true, isn't it? You did it for years on days like this.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Monday morning.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I mean, there are good things about old age, though, aren't there? I mean, it don't last that long.
No,
for a start.
that's true.
Yeah, so that's not bad.
You're
is
right
it?
there.
Yeah. I don't know. You tend to lose inhibitions of it, don't you? So stuff.
I lose memories.
Like when we were young.
Yes.
Whippersnappers.
Yes.
You know, you'd go on stage and you'd make a little mistake or something. It'd be the end of the world.
That's right.
And now we
don't remember the mistakes, do we?
Or it becomes part of the act.
Or it becomes part of
Or
the
you don't
act.
notice, yeah.
I mean, the fact that David can't count to 4 has now become part of the act.
It's true. I'm not a musical person. As I always say, I can count to 4, but as the great man said, not necessarily in the right. Thank you.
Exactly. Great. So you write all of your own material together. What kind of things inspire you? Just daily life things?
Just daft things.
It
really.
started off as a deliberate kind of what's it like to be in your early 60s.
Early 60s. Yeah.
and looking at life from that point of view, because it is a point of view, but I think we're trying to spread it a lot more. Some of the critics that have given us very good reviews, both at Buxton and Edinburgh, said actually they could write about anything, which is nice, but then you've got to think of it.
It's not true.
It's not true. So the other day I went to IKEA, and by accident I went the wrong way round against the arrows.
Oh gosh,
Can I just say that other flat pack furniture shops are
available? Yes, but not in this country.
No.
but
I bet that was traumatic.
Yes, so we're writing a piece about that.
Yeah.
And about
Holidays,
turning a certain age. Yeah, going on holidays.
Why everybody uses their phones all the time.
Yes.
Which I do too. So you go into rooms completely silent, it's full of people, mainly blokes, doing
ignoring each other.
On radio. I'm doing a sign that says phone.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
It's good though.
It's very good.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So anything that just makes us laugh, really, or that we think is, creative.
Doesn't take a certain angle on it.
Yeah. And as highly creative people, do you have artistic differences?
No, not really. No, he's always right. No, seriously, no. What tends to happen is, when we first started, we'd come with a piece and we say, this is how it goes. Now we come along with an idea and we work on it between us and edit, because there's nothing better when you're collaborating than saying something out loud which you thought was the funniest thing you'd ever, and then the person opposite just goes, really? And, it's like that, isn't it?
But we both fairly... I mean, if I've written something and you don't like it, you'll just say, I'm not sure about that. It'll just go.
Yeah.
We just cross it out and say the other way around, really. Yeah,
it's got to be like that.
Yeah. I mean, and when we're performing, I mean, I think we said this really, really early on. When I'm on stage, my job is to make David look good, and his job is to make me look good.
And it works.
And so it works. Yes. Nobody's there for themselves. You're there for the other person,
That's the theory. That's how it is.
We just fight in the dressing room afterwards,
But both the audience usually go with either of us, don't they? Yeah. They both usually like it, don't they?
Yeah. So it's good to have that trust and honesty, isn't it? And you can work really openly. Yeah, brilliant. So you might perform a poem for us today. That'd be lovely.
Well, it just so happens we have one here with us.
Fantastic.
Made earlier.
Well, I mean, do you remember like Teddy Boys, and then we had Mods. With the sort of scooters and everything.
Mods just got older.
Yeah, the theory is, that mods have evolved. They've evolved into a new subspecies. And this is all about
them.
Yes.
Got my snorkel, Parker got a Ben Sherman shirt.
Got a pocket full of pills to keep me alert.
Levi Stay Press, cherry red Dockers.
Bombing down to Skeggy.
Looking for rockers.
Got my rear view mirrors.
A whiplash aerial chrome that glimmers.
Fueled on Dex's Northern Soul.
Motown stacks, not rock and roll. It's not a Vespa.
It's not a Lambretta.
It's not a Piaggio.
It's even better.
It's a zero emission.
Non-polluter.
Little red mobility scooter. I got a plastic cover for when it rains.
Drive it home, plug it in the mains.
Never use the pavement, crawl down the road.
Ignore all the rules in the highway code. I'm keeping it real so the world can see.
I'm still maximum R&B.
Call me Stan, or if you'd rather,
Just call me the Mud Grandfather. Snorkel, Parker, Ben Sherman shirt, pocket full of pills, keep me alert. Levi Stay Press, cherry red Dockers, down in Skeggy, looking for rockers. Snorkel, Parker,
Ben Sherman shirt,
pocket full of pills,
keep me alert.
Levi Stay Pressed,
Cherry red Dockers,
down in Skeggy, looking for rockers. Chairs, that is. Thank you.
That's fantastic. Thank you. Brilliant.
So there you are, that kind of thing.
that's that sort of thing.
Yeah. Lovely. Yeah. So, I was going to ask, when you perform live, what do you find the most challenging thing about that? Because for a lot of people, that would be their nightmare, writing something from the heart and then performing it.
Right. The challenge is to... I'm not being facetious. It's to see the words. Because we can't remember it, because they're very complicated. I remember when we were at Buxton, the theatre lights are in your face, and they're on a music stand in front of you, and we highlighted them, but under those lights, the highlights disappear.
Yeah.
So it was just honestly, that's and also there's in any little act that you do, there's going to be one line you think that's going to get a laugh.
Yeah.
That's good. That's the one. And it doesn't happen.
Yes.
And you think, oh right, right. So we look at each other desperately and then make something up. And
But we generally do just really enjoy performing. It's just such
fun.
good
Yes,
fun. And once you're on and that first couple of lines are out of the way, it's just we just
even when it goes wrong, we just wing it. Really.
Yeah.
And it's the sort of thing. I think if we're enjoying it, somebody out there must be enjoying it. So and that's usually the case.
Yeah, that's right. And it's part of live. I always say when we've gone wrong, it's part of live performance.
Yeah.
So we don't always go wrong. But,
Well, we sort of make out now if we go wrong that it was on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
good plan.
And it does seem to work.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah,
honestly.
brilliant. And have you noticed a big difference? You've been performing in Buxton and Edinburgh. Is there a big difference in audiences as you go to different cities, or are people more or less the same?
No, that is a really good question.
That is a good question.
The difference is that sometimes, again, if the audience, like it was in Buxton, were mainly our age, there were a lot of in-jokes that they understood. And names and references. But by and large, because equally the guy who gave us a 5-star review was younger than one of my daughters, like 20-something, and he loved it. He just rolled around laughing, bless him. So, know, it does seem to... When we first started, we were worried about that, weren't we?
We did worry about... Because we thought this is going to appeal to older people. Because we're older people, we're writing about stuff that older people moan about and whatever. We thought it's going to appeal to them. But then we did a few gigs, especially around Sheffield. We did a couple down at Theatre Deli and whatever. And it was full of sort of students and young people and whatever. And I thought, well, this is going down well. What you tend to forget is that a lot of our stuff is around either culture or music. We have a lot of stuff that's about music. It's not necessarily musical, but it references music.
Yes, that's true.
And you tend to forget that because we grew up with, like, Eddie Cochran, you tend to think...
Did he come round your house?
Yeah, he did, yeah. All the time.
Really?
Yeah. My mum said he was my uncle. So because we grew up in that era, we sort of tend to think that a 25-year-old won't know that,
they're into
but of
it
course
too.
they do. They've got that whole history of
rock and roll.
So we do,
no, that is true.
We do sort of plug
and also we try to do things that aren't necessarily age specific. That just are funny.
Like my grandfather. That's not really age specific.
No, not really.
Middle-aged men in lycra.
That's not. No.
Middle-aged men. But, going on holiday. That's not.
No, that's certainly not age specific.
Going to Malmo.
Don't go to Malmo.
Yeah. A new piece about.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. Great. And do you have a preference to regarding audience size? Do you like?
The bigger we like them love. The more you get in, we find.
We tend to like the audience to be bigger than. The two of us. If it's more than two, we're no. I mean, we've done What's the big? We only tend to do small spaces.
So you can always
So
Buxton 35 people, great. Small room, 35 people,
it's
great.
great. I mean, we'd love more, but we don't tend to.
No.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you get into bigger places, you need different technology, and you don't, it's.
And you've got to be good.
And you've got to be good.
Yeah. So
And you lose that intimacy as well, don't you?
Yes,
really?
that's what we always say. We say when the 5 people come.
Who needs money?
Who needs? Oh no,
Yeah.
there's no money in this. No money in poetry.
No. Minus money. We lose
Oh.
money.
We lose money.
Yeah.
But it's cheaper than golf.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was going to ask you, what do you enjoy most about performing live?
I don't know, just making people laugh, really.
It is. It's the making people.
It's just
the
fun.
moment. I don't know about you, Dave, but the moment we walk on stage, I think, wow, fantastic. This is
It's
it.
good fun, isn't it?
And
Yeah.
We just show off, aren't we? And we just like to make people laugh.
Yeah.
No, because this is. I mean, there's a lot of work has actually got.
Yes.
It seems all throwaway, but a lot of work goes into it.
An awful lot of work
And
goes into it.
It's just lovely to go on a stage and have people appreciate that you've.
Yeah, that's
you know,
right. Yeah, it's that whole thing of like if you write something that somebody you don't know and you've never met them, and they say, "Oh, I like that." You think, "Oh, thank you. That's good, isn't it?"
Yeah.
That's great.
You know.
Yeah. Brilliant. And David, as well as being a Glummer twin, you're a published author as well.
Yes, I'm a
didn't know
children's
this.
poet with many books from Macmillan's children's books. And,
On Amazon, you can get them on
You can get them on
Amazon.
Amazon. You can get them on Amazon cheaper than you can from me. And you can. This one that says David Harmer's Pirate Poems, 1 penny. You think, fair enough. And and I'm writing a lot of poetry these days. It's getting into very serious little magazines.
Fantastic, lovely.
It's nice.
And Ray, when you aren't being a Glummer twin, what do you get up to?
I'm pretty much a Glummer twin. I mean, I do do a bit of sort of drama and stuff like that.
You just got to play on right now.
directing.
I have a show on this week.
Oh.
At Sheffield University Drama Studio. It's Much Ado About Nothing. I've directed it with a good friend of ours, Mick Connell. There's some fantastic people in it, and that's on this week. Opens tonight through to Saturday, 7:30. University Drama Studio, Glossop Road. And it's well worth coming to see. So it's either that or Glummer Twins, really.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a bit of space to do a bit more music, really. But
He's a very good musician.
There's
very good
there
musician.
doesn't seem to be any space to. I'll find some
space.
space.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that can do some there.
Yeah.
There's a corner over there.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. Thank you very much for coming in and performing.